I'm Rupert Cole, the CEO of Xcite Energy. As we conclude a very successful year in 2012, I'd like to take a few minutes to do two things. To tell you about what we've achieved this year, and secondly, what our next steps are. Clearly the highlight of our year was the production well test, which was a great success and means that the Bentley field is now ready for development. The test met its principal objectives and has greatly improved our understanding of the oil, gas and water behaviour and movement in the reservoir, which is the key to proving the long-term productivity of the field. In short, this means that we now know how to drill and complete the production wells, how the oil and water move in the reservoir, how to process it and flow it to the tanker. We now know how to separate the water and oil, blend it and sell it. As you know, we sold about 150,000 barrels at a good price, so we know there's a market for Bentley crude. We've taken Bentley much further than most independent oil companies will be able to do, and by doing so, we have materially de-risked the project. I'm very proud of what the team has achieved, having gone far beyond the scope of a conventional well test. We now have a much better understanding of all aspects of the field development, from drilling through to the route to market. One of the most important results of the production test is the detailed understanding we now have of how the water behaves both inside and when it's outside the reservoir. We know there's a very large aquifer underneath Bentley, which appears to be directly connected to the sea about 50 kilometres away. This is very good news. This aquifer will provide the long-term pressure support needed to drain the oil from the reservoir, which gives confidence in the long-term productivity of the field. The production test demonstrated how the oil and water behaved in the reservoir, which was very predictable and better than we modelled. This understanding of the water also has a major economic impact, as we can now accurately assess the process equipment needed for the future development. Everything we've done in this production test, especially our understanding of the water, has given us very valuable proprietary knowledge. Good commercial sense dictates that we retain this knowledge with a view to sharing it only with potential partners in due course to maximise its value for shareholders. And so now looking to the future, our next key milestones are the reserves update, the field development plan and the reserves-based lending facility. Starting with the reserves update, over the course of the production test we have gathered a vast amount of valuable data. Once it's been interpreted, it will form the basis for updating the reservoir model and the design of the Bentley production facilities. This data and the new seismic imaging that we bought earlier this year will go into a new reserves assessment for the core area of the reservoir in the form of a new competent persons report, which will again be provided by Trax. As we previously said, we're targeting the reserves update for early in 2013. In parallel with the new CPR, we're also updating the field development plan. Even though we see the fundamentals of the plan remaining largely unchanged from what was submitted to DEC in 2011, the production test data and our much better understanding of the field have given us an opportunity to improve this still further. The FDP also requires a lot of technical input, but it's in hand, it's going well, and we'll resubmit it to DEC when it's ready. So as you probably know, both the CPR and the FDP are very important for our reserves-based lending facility. To be absolutely clear, for a company at our stage, it's a fantastic achievement to have put this type of facility in place, and particularly with the quality of lenders that are supporting us. It does mean that Bentley has passed intense technical scrutiny, which is a massive external validation of the field. As we've said before, the RBL becomes available on approval of the FDP by DEC, and it remains a very important part of our future financing plans. So rest assured, the teams in Aberdeen and Guildford are working flat out to deliver the new CPR and update the FDP, and no one should underestimate how much work is involved in completing these. Before I finish on funding, I'd like to talk a little bit about our plans for the farm-out process. Our plan has always been to take the Bentley field as far as we have, whilst retaining 100% ownership. So by validating the Bentley asset value with the recent production well test, we believe this is the right time to start to seriously consider a suitable partner in the field. The farm-out is an important financing option for us. Preparations are well underway, and we expect to start this in early 2013 when all the information is ready. Finally, I'd like to talk a little bit about what is happening beyond these immediate priorities. We now have a number of additional license areas and an enhanced oil recovery program, all of which have the potential to contribute towards the future value of the company. As you probably know, we have the prospective resources on Bentley, which are primarily in the southeast of the reservoir. We believe that these are important for the wider Bentley development scenario. We're very pleased with the outcome of the recent 27th license round. These blocks are adjacent to the east and south of Bentley and contain 4 significant prospects. These are quite a bit deeper than Bentley and therefore potentially lighter oil. Our rationale here is that these prospects could be tied back into Bentley at some stage in the future. It's early days yet, but they could be material for the overall Bentley value, and we'll update the market when we know more. And perhaps best of all, we also see significant potential upside from using enhanced oil recovery techniques on Bentley. I don't want to bore you with the science, but basically we're looking at a method which could slow the water movement through the oil to the wells, and thereby materially improving total oil production. It's called polymer flood. Again, it's early days, and we'll aim to test this as soon as possible during the first phase of development. Polymer flood is a well-established technique in heavy oil fields, and we're greatly encouraged by the early data analysis from the production well test. So to sum up, 2012 has been a fantastic year for Xcite. I have a great team of people around me who, after a very busy year indeed, are still working very hard to complete all the things we need to do to move Bentley forward. The recent production well test was a great technical and commercial success and was carried out in a safe and environmentally sound manner. It has materially de-risked the Bentley field for development. I'm very excited about the future and greatly look forward to updating you throughout 2013.